The story begins with Catherine and we see her. You clean the house, and when you finish, you call. Her husband is hers, and she tells him not to forget that. Today he invited her for lunch, so he told her that she remembers the date and keeps daydreaming and thinking about her son. The one who died, and his name is Nick, and we know that he died in a painful car accident. And from that moment on, it will be, I am very sad and upset because of him. And he is always there. She shares every moment with him and never forgets him. And there comes a time, she was in a party with her friend, telling her about her circumstances, and put her husband in the job, but it will be Catherine. Thinking absent-minded and not concentrating at all with her husband. Her friend brings her a plate of meat, but she refuses. Her husband was surprised that she rejected him and said, "You like meat, so you tell him. If you're interested in me basically, and if you know my details, you will know that I am. I don't like meat, but it's not on your mind and you drink it. A very large amount of licorice, and she is upset. When the party ends, you don't know how to leave. And Peru, we will see each other at another time." Out of prison, his name is Jordi, and his father is Bacon. He is waiting outside, and his name is Carl, and he says to him, "I'll do it, because my wife Liz is waiting for me outside." And they tell his father that he has to work as soon as possible, because he is a reckless young man and a troublemaker, and it is necessary, they are responsible, and they also know their situation. Now it doesn't work, and Lisa is talking to him and trying to frame. She softens the relationship between them and opens up to him. But he tells her, "You are my father's wife, and you will never be." Like my mother, we see Dale going to Catherine, and he is angry. He pushed her away and told her, "You're not up to it. Responsibility, and you have to help me with the housework." He also tells her to take their son back to school because he is busy. So I got up and changed her clothes, and she goes to take him, and we see a person named Walter. He's with Carol and tells him about his brother's condition. Psychological, and because of the accident that happened to him, he felt guilty while drinking, and his brother was riding with him, Dennis, and they are on their way to get into a car. There is a son of Lady Catherine who died there. At the same time, he has not been able to forget since then. Or he will skip this topic once and for all. Today Catherine will go to the accident site, and it will be the place of her son's grave. She puts flowers and watches and sits. There is a little bit, and when it is finished, you go back home and cool. Her son doesn't leave her, so she goes into his room and sits down. On his bed, she takes his clothes, gets ready, and stays. I was in tears, and I saw Jordi, and he was there. He's looking for a job on Facebook. He has a friend who would have stolen it, something before. So he tells him that he stole a car, and I am old. I won't do this again, and I'm currently looking for a job. In order to start something new, my friend agreed. The place is busy with him, but when he returns, he meets Melissa, is his classmate on the road. She was surprised when she saw him, and he told her that he was looking for a job, and he knew he had a job. He starts a new life, so he tries to meet Catherine, is Nick's mother, but he cuts her off and says to her, "I am the last person you would want to meet or hear my name." Even when we see Dennis, he has autism in the house, to his brother Walter to consult about something, become a center, and work on it. He said coldly, "I have nothing to do with you," and he closes the door in his face, and we see Catherine coming out at night to get some stuff. And on the way, she meets Jordi by chance and gets nervous and leaves. She hid behind the car, and she really hid until some point. He walks, and we see Jordi sitting on his bed, and she enters and asks if I have any clothes. She wants to wash herself, so he tells her, "Don't make me feel like here." Amy Wapkun has an auction for tonight, but Catherine was having breakfast with her husband and son. And you tell him, "I want you to be a professional in hating the basket, and you will be a world star like your brother Nick." But her husband interrupts her and says to her, "You are putting pressure on her, on him and his psyche as well, and it will be both them boths." They got upset and got up, but Jordi went to the house to walk in the house and sees Lisa coming out of the bathroom, and he is, I'm very surprised, impressed and amazed by her. I surrender to him, and there is no objection to it. On the other side, we see Walter leaving to his brother Dennis and his girlfriend Cher, but Dennis, he forbids her and does not let her in because he is not used to anyone. He is not the one who took it from him and asked her for a litter. She waits for him downstairs in the car until Walter returns to her. He asks Dennis to calm down and not talk to Sherry. They know that she is his colleague and that he has seen her before. He keeps convincing him a lot until he leaves. He gets dressed and ready, and we watch him training outside on his brother's basketball, and his father, at that time his father was hurt and said to him, he brings him anything to cover up the wound, so he runs to me. In the kitchen, he has his brother's ball, So his mother tells him that they took his ball. He said to her, "Get over your fantasy. I live in it. My brother died and left." He walks, and after a few days, Al Litter meets Sheriff. The university and I give her a rose to cheer up the atmosphere, but she completely ignores him and doesn't give him anything. Pay attention to the time, and you will be a militia ready to meet. Jordy is in the restaurant where he works, and she prefers encourage him and motivate him to be happy while working. Then she takes him home and asks him to. She goes in with him and they talk, and he tells her about the accident. Nick is Catherine's son, but Melissa tells him that I wanted to be with you for a long time, but you interfered. They call his father's wife and tell him it's clear that you came at the wrong time and you left jealous of us. As for Walter, he will lose Sherry to him, because she no longer asks about him, and when he finds him with her, another person would be upset that she is still on. She has a relationship with him and a fight happens between them, so she gets angry. I bought it from him and developed the place, and there will be a date between Jordy and his girlfriend, and Best, the shop owner. And he goes outside and goes home to change his clothes, because they go out and complete their day somewhere else. And it will be Lisa saw him and tried to calm things down between them. She attracts him to her again, but he doesn't care about her. And Melissa Jordy says on the subject of Lisa's wife, his father said to her, "I wish we could change the subject. This outing is for you and me. We are going out to change the atmosphere together." He decides to talk to Catherine and ask her. I will agree to it until I arrive. And Beta Cirque trying, which is supposed to be between them. Continuous, because he was your best friend. Her son tells her that he has nothing to do with the accident. What happened to you because of the second car? The one who suddenly cornered us and we did not know how to control it. The situation, and he also tells her that your son is the best person. I met him in my life and I was supposed to be the one. I die while he lives, not me. So I gave him a gift. She is affectionate with him, and as soon as she arrives home, she is broken, stubborn, and collects everything she comes across. She enters her son's room and collects everything. Take it out and light it up until the beautiful memory. She throws away the one she was thinking of and is gone. She packed her things to get ready and go to her sister's house. In the middle of the conversation, Dale realizes that she has never. I will forgive him for a moment, because since he died, I have not been with him. Not a single tear fell from your eye, and your world continued. It's normal, as if you don't have a son and you put her son. Then we go to visit my sister instead of the sadness we are in. We live in it, and Mr. Walter is dying to arrive, to Catherine to apologize to her for what happened, and she forgives him instead of his conscience being clouded over her son's death. Nick, who feels every day that Nick died because of him, and not owned. He's able to overcome the situation, but she does not give him any. Fabi's interest is talking to her, but she keeps hitting him, and I expect it on the ground. And Jordy's father knows. In the relationship between him and his wife, he beats her. He is tough, but his son beats him mercilessly. What he did to his wife and Liz turned into a hero. Her husband beats her in the face, but Jordan takes advantage of it. His father's busy and beats him. And we see Catherine. You put your bag in the car to go and come back. Then Walter grabs him and throws him aside and moves on. And her son in the car, and they walk. And he is Jordy, waiting for his girlfriend to move from the place. And they settle in another place, and they admit that they will get married, settle down, and have a beautiful life. Together. And up to here, my friend, we will have arrived. Bye-bye to today's video.